Hey guys, this is Nick with PhoneArena, and several months ago we got the iOS 10 developers preview running on our iPhone. It was still a bit buggy at the time, but it gave us a nice sneak peek at what was about to come. This week, the full and final version of iOS 10 got released, so let us now take a closer look at all the new major improvements that it brings. We'll start with the lock screen. Quite a lot has changed here, and there's quite a lot we'll have to get used to. For example, if you lift your iPhone, the screen turns on automatically. It is a nice feature to have, with a lot of potential, but we feel like it could have been improved. More specifically, it would have been nice if the gesture worked when we tilt the phone, like when it's charging on a table. It did in the iOS 10 preview, but now it doesn't. Also, if there are no notifications to be shown, the screen gets turned off almost instantly. We're not sure why. For the record, Lift to Wake can be disabled in case you don't like it. Another change you will instantly notice is that there's no more swipe to unlock. Instead, swiping to the right shows your list of widgets. If you use widgets frequently, you might find this new addition useful, although we kinda feel that they make the lock screen a bit too complicated. Maybe we are not used to the change yet. Swiping to the left from any point of the lock screen takes you to the camera. We have to say that we really like this new camera shortcut because we do not have to aim for that small button in the corner anymore. So here's how you unlock your phone in iOS 10. You press the home button, your fingerprint gets read in a split second, and you're taken to your home screen. If you want to, you can set your iPhone to unlock when you just rest your finger on the fingerprint reader without pressing. You will still have to wake the screen, however. The option is in accessibility settings. The home screen itself seems familiar. You have your apps, just like before, and you can sort them in folders, just like before. It is new that many of the stock apps can be hidden completely, in case you know that you will never use them. Unfortunately, that dark theme we heard rumors about did not materialize. However, if you open the clock application, you will find a new black background throughout the interface, which we think is pretty cool. After all, chances are that the app will be used at night, and the new dark look would be easier on the eyes. On top of that, the app can now track your sleeping habits and will alert you when it's bedtime. What's also new is that widgets are now in their dedicated panel. You swipe to the right to access them. Widgets are organized vertically and you're free to arrange them the way you like. There is also a search bar stuck permanently on top. Meanwhile, the notifications panel is just a place for notifications now, with nothing more getting in the way. It is a change we do not mind actually, to have widgets and notifications separated. Speaking of widgets, try using 3D Touch on an application icon. You will see that many apps now show widgets when pressed, which can be useful. It is convenient that we can access quick information at a glance without having to open the full app. For example, the phone app shows our frequently used contacts, and the activity app presents an overview of our activity. Although it feels kind of redundant having widgets both here and on the side. Anyway, 3D Touch is also present in more places than before. For example, in Control Center, pressing the flashlight button gives you 3 brightness levels to choose from, and the timer holds several presets, which is nice. Now, you may have noticed that the whole Control Center has been redesigned. Music controls have been moved to their own dedicated page, and in their place, there's a huge button for activating night shift mode. If you use the music controls a lot, you might find this annoying, but it isn't that bad. Pulling up the Control Center always shows the panel that you used last, so you won't have to swipe every time to change a song. And now, let's take a look at Messages, which is getting a major upgrade with iOS 10. And why not? It is the most used stock application in iOS. So essentially, it is still the app that you use to exchange iMessages and regular text messages. But the update aims to make communication more lively, more colorful, more engaging. For example, emojis are 3 times bigger now, and if you switch to the emoji keyboard, every word that you can replace with an emoji gets highlighted. You can also add effects to your iMessages. Text bubbles can be bigger or smaller, and background effects can be thrown in to make things extra dramatic. This here is the invisible ink feature. Basically, it obscures the message or image that you're sending, and the recipient has to swipe to reveal the big surprise. In addition to that, you can send hand-drawn messages across for extra personal touch. Or you can add effects to your images before sending them. Interestingly, Apple has also added apps to its messaging application. This idea here is a lot more practical. For example, here I can share the weather with someone or send them a song that I like on Apple Music. This is also where you get new stickers to use in chats. The availability of apps is very limited right now, but we see their number growing fast. Another practical improvement is that links are transformed into previews of whatever they lead to, and videos can be viewed inside the chat box. All in all, there's a ton of new features coming to iMessages. Many of them are there just for fun, and honestly we don't see many people using them every day, but the good thing is that if you don't like them and you don't want to use them, they won't get in your way. Other features, like the last few we just showed you, could actually be useful, and we don't mind having them. Then there is Siri. The new thing about her in iOS 10 is that she can interact with third-party applications. For example, you can search for cat photos on Pinterest or start a new exercise on Runtastic. There is only a few dozens of apps that support this feature right now, but we see that it has potential. We expect many more developers to build this functionality into their software in the coming months. Just so you know, on your phone, this feature might come disabled by default. You have to go to Settings and give Siri access to each application first before the two can interact. And here we are in the Photos app. Things have changed here as well. For example, the software is now smart enough to analyze the images that you take. Every person that you take a picture of gets their own album, so it's easier to access the photos of people that matter most. There is also the new Memories feature, which automatically generates photo albums of events. It can even create a video of your last weekend getaway or birthday party, for example. Another cool feature is the app's ability to recognize various objects. This makes it easier to find all the cat photos that you have ever taken. Although we have to admit that the app's recognition skills aren't great yet. The biggest change in Apple Music for iOS 10 is the redesign of the interface. It puts more focus on the user's library, so it is easier to get to the music you want. Also, all the downloaded songs are now in their own dedicated tab. And the more you explore iOS 10, the more changes you will find. Here in Notes, for example, you have the option for collaboration. You can share a note with other people so that everyone can edit its contents. That can be very useful, of course. Maps can give you proactive suggestions for places that you might want to visit nearby, including places that you might want to take a break at while traveling. We can go on, but by now it should be clear that iOS 10 is a huge and a meaningful update. It shows that iOS still has room for improvement. It can get more fun and more functional. The thing about iOS 10 is that right now it doesn't shine as much as it could. What we mean is that it will take some time for developers to fully integrate many of the new features in iOS 10 into their apps, so that users would truly benefit from them. At the same time, many users might need some extra time to get used to the changes in iOS 10, such as the redesigned lock screen or the rearrangement of widgets. Still, we think that iOS 10 is pretty great, and overall it marks a step forward for iOS. If you have not downloaded it yet, feel free to do so. Some great things are coming. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe to our channel to never miss a video.